Welcome to John Mike Keene. Nothing to see here, just the military doing psyops against us. The military's doing psyops against us.
You say in your testimony, PSYOP tactics being used by the U.S. and U.K. military against the American people. That is really scary stuff reading that. Could you elaborate? Because I think the American people need to hear, they need to hear about this.
The American people do not need to hear about this. I have been programmed by a psyop to say, you don't need to know about this.
Yeah, we now know what happened, which is that basically after the war on terror, the United States used counterterrorism, counterinsurgency, counterpopulism tactics first in the Middle East as part of the Arab Spring uprisings, then in Eastern Europe as part of the color revolutions, using social media to foment revolutions against places that we wanted regime change, and then using censorship in places to repress conflicting opinion in places that we were trying to stabilize. Those tactics were then turned against the American people after the populist revolutions of 2016. First, you saw Russiagate, the idea, this wild conspiracy theory that President Trump was somehow controlled through a sex blackmail operation by the Russians.
That was perpetrated by your U.S. government. It's true. I don't like believing in conspiracies. I don't like all the black helicopters, UFO, JFK stuff. We didn't land on the moon. The earth is hollow. 9/11 was an inside job, name it. It's all controlled by the Rothschilds, etc. But I saw this one happen before my very eyes. The U.S. government had 51 intel agents under the Biden administration lie about Trump. They put their reputation on the line and told a massive lie about Russiagate and Hunter Biden's laptop. We all saw it.
But then we also saw a very elaborate effort to do exactly what they had done abroad, creating small committees of experts to decide what the truth was and demand censorship on the basis of it. But I also mentioned there's also these proactive influence operations, the most dramatic of which is the Hunter Biden laptop, severely illegal, but we also saw the mobilization of the intelligence community. And now in the latest article that we published today, we have documented that the Agency for International Development has overseen basically a takeover over the last decade and a half of independent investigative journalism in Europe and around the world through OCCRP.
They're doing it. That Hunter laptop was purely the government trying to influence an election. That was all it was in 2020. It was because they did not want Trump to win and they wanted Joe Biden to win. That's the only reason they did it, guys. That is totally anti-American and it's totally true. That's the only motive for it.
And supposedly independent journalism organizations with an eye to basically controlling the information and controlling the major news media that do investigative journalism.
And that's why we make fun of journalism more than anything, because they had one job: to be that last branch of government, the last truth tellers, to hold truth to power, to defend, be the little guy, be the little gumshoe journalist, to beat the streets and do your research and overturn that giant Leviathan state. And instead they went along with it, told the lie, and oppressed all of us who knew the truth, told the truth. We got deplatformed, and they deserve a lifetime of ridicule, which I intend to do for the rest of my life. And if you're on board too, then come along and join us. I'm John Mike Keene.